So awesome job. You got a simple web app running on Heroku. You've got Hello World. What we need to do now is just a little bit of cleanup and post-mortem and then move on to bigger and better things. So in terms of cleanup, very simply, the last thing you need to do is just terminate your EC2 instance so it doesn't keep running. And the way you do that is you go to your Amazon Web Services dashboard, you click EC2 to go to the EC2 sub-dashboard, click Instances, right-click your instance, and then go and just click Terminate. There's also something called stopping. It's different from terminating. You can read here about the details. We'll get into that potentially later in the quarter. So the reason that you're terminating this does not terminate your Heroku app is your EC2 instance is where you developed, and then you push it out over here, and then you can shut it down. And this will just keep running on its own. So it's worth, consulting this figure again. We did most of the things in the figure with the one exception that we didn't actually do any pushing of code, but we did connect via SSH, we pulled code from GitHub, and we pushed code to Heroku, and then we viewed that code in the browser. So that is the development over here, and then the deployment to Heroku over there. You can get much more sophisticated than this. This is just, baby's first web app. But it's useful to already start to see how many different kinds of machines are involved and also start to get familiar with when you're executing commands remotely versus locally. In the interest of speed, we did a lot of things in this interactive start we would not normally do. For example, we worked with PEM files in the directory they landed rather than moving them to SSH. In practice, you'd want to put code through 3 stages, a dev, a staging, and a production branch before just pushing to live site. There's a lot of kind of shortcuts we took just to make things simple. But we'll cover things like this in more detail as the course progresses. You may also find it useful now that you've got some familiarity to go through the vocabulary over here. We will have some multiple choice questions on this content in homework number 1. So great job, you got your first web app up, and now let's move on to even bigger things.